Good morning, happy Friday. As we come into Friday, I always like to on a Friday say, okay, let's evaluate the week. How did you do? In order to figure out whether or not you're getting closer or further from your goals, you got to keep score. One of the things that I learned after being in business for 25 years is you can't be in business without learning to keep score to see how you're doing. And in business, the scoreboard is done by accountants. And so you got to learn accounting. You got to learn how to read all that stuff. You got to learn what it all means. And for, most of us business owners, it's the last thing in the world we want to do. We're mostly artists. We don't want to pay attention to numbers. Well, in your life, in order to figure out whether or not you're getting closer to your goals or further away, you got to keep score. If you're on the path to losing weight, you got to get on the scale. If you're on the path to, gaining muscle and getting healthier, then periodically you've got to go do the blood work and do the stuff in order to see how you're doing. If you're changing your finances, you've got to face it. You've got to face the difficulty, and then you've got to keep track and see, am I getting less debt? Am I paying off my debts? Well, so as this Friday opens up, you got to keep score. So one of the things you need to do is take a look and write down and take, how did I do this week? How did I do in terms of the things that I set out to do? Did I accomplish my goals for this week? Did I accomplish my outcomes for this week? How many times did I work out? How did I do with regards to my finances? How did I do with regards to the things that I needed to get done in order to move the ball? And I'll leave you with this. I think, for me, Friday afternoons are a good time to think about the big picture, to work on big picture stuff. We usually have our office meetings where we work on the business instead of in the business on Friday afternoons. And, remember this phrase: the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty that you can handle at any time. I'll say it again. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the amount of uncertainty that you can handle at any time. And what I mean by that is, life begins at the end of our comfort zone, and we always got to be growing. Well, when you do that, it creates uncertainty. You're not sure how that's going to work out. When you're doing something that you've done before, you've got a great deal of certainty into how that is going to go. That particular outcome is going to happen. So that's just like a muscle, right? It's a muscle just like anything else. It's a muscle like working out. It's a muscle like, when you start out learning accounting in order to see how your business is doing, you're not going to be good at it, but over time, you're going to get a lot better at it. Well, the same is true with uncertainty. The more you can learn to grab it, the more you can learn to be okay with doing something that you haven't done in the past, the better you're going to get at it. And I'm not saying you run out and you do reckless things all the time, but when you grow, when you look at it and say, okay, I now need to take the next step in order to achieve my outcomes, a lot of times that next step is something that you haven't done. Well, that's uncertainty. The more that you can be okay with that happening in your life, the better quality of life that you're going to have. Because as you do those things, now you're going to grow, now you're going to achieve, and it starts momentum. And the more you get that momentum, then the more you're going to want to do it. So keep score. Take a look at a Friday as to how you did this week. Week's not over. You still got tomorrow. We can still work on our goals on the weekends. It's okay. You can go enjoy yourself on the weekends and work on your goals at the same time. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. But also take a look at how much uncertainty was I willing to embrace this week, and how much do I need to embrace in order to get my outcomes when I need to get them? Because the difference between a goal and a dream is a goal has a deadline. That deadline is going to need you, it's going to motivate you, and it's also going to need you to do things outside of your comfort zone. So get used to that. Look forward to doing something outside of your comfort zone. Look forward to stretching yourself. Look forward to all of that by letting yourself know that the more uncertainty you can deal with, the better quality of life you're going to have. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great Friday. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.